Welcome to Marianne's Morning Talk. I have the pleasure today to welcome Sonal Bisht, Poly's Head of Communications in EMEA. Welcome to the show, Sonal.
Nice to meet you, Marianne. Thanks for having me here today.
You've been involved in running Polycom's communication already for 7 years. What has been the biggest development in how your content has evolved and how you market it since you arrived?
Poly and communications, we've all been existing for years and years. And I can tell you one thing, what people say about PR and communications is it's all about fine wining and dining. Well, there is a bit of that. We are all human beings, right? We like to connect to each other. The way that things have changed last year is just blown my mind. There are three things I saw. We used to say that, oh, let's meet in person. And I'm not the one who says that, PR is all about fine dining and wining. But yes, there was definitely a lot of in-person meetings. But guess what? Those in-person meetings no longer have to be in person. Technology that we are into, the industry is really helping us. We are still connecting with each other. But here's the other crazy thing that happened in my industry. We used to have these big launches, major events, and we somehow managed to pull that together in a group meeting format on a hybrid setup, which I never thought was possible. And this is where the content completely changed. We spoke about hybrid working last year in a hybrid format. It was so amazing. Some of us were in the meeting rooms and some of us were actually on the video bridge. That was great. But the third thing, previously, how many of us were muting our videos? Nowadays, everybody's turning video on. And I must say, media and analyst community, as well as our partners and customers, we've all started turning our videos on, haven't we? But here's the crazy thing. The conclusion is that we've all gained a certain respect for technology. If you're talking about hybrid work, might as well drink your own champagne. Get a good kit there. I would say that I really need a proper headset to work with, because otherwise I've got pets, children, family member, everyone has those. And that's where I think the biggest lesson and learning has been. Content definitely has become really valuable, but how we present the content is even more valuable.
Absolutely, I fully agree. So I'm 100% sure we go to a kind of hybrid for both. So sometimes it's very nice to meet each other really in person, but it helps us as well to minimize the driving time, so the travel time, which is very good as well. And it gives us more time than back to our families, which is important. You were recently awarded a CN Women in Tech Award. Congratulations.
Thank
Do
you.
you find that being a woman in tech is challenging, or does it help you being in communications?
So here's the thing. We say that women in tech means that women in engineering, women in AV, who are actually doing the technology stuff. But I beg to differ. I say that if women engineers and women in AV, only technology specialist roles would have pulled it all off together on their own, they wouldn't have needed anybody else to sell the technology, communicate about the technology. Therefore, I'm a proud member of Women in Tech community. I come from corporate communications, perhaps not as skilled as the technical counterparts of mine, but really proud member of community. The two things I do see happen in women's lives and how the world poses challenge for us. I think there is this inherent sort of, kind of like a hesitation almost. We don't like to speak up as women. I don't know
Absolutely.
why it is like that. It perhaps is because do we not have enough role models while growing up in schools, universities, perhaps our first jobs? We maybe didn't see that enough. So maybe that's one of the things. And I like to say, speak up, because when you speak up, wonderful things will happen. The other thing I would say, we always worry about the worst case scenario. My goodness, if I speak up, what if everybody's just looking at my face and thinking the worst? But who even cares? Speak up. You might just make that $1 million deal that you're looking for, and you might just earn that opportunity or get into that next cool job that you're looking for. Speak up, I think, is the main message for me. And I would say there's this book I really wanted to. I did put it on my desk. So, Marianne, hope you don't mind me flashing this. There's
Yeah.
this book, The Power of Onlyness. I highly recommend it. Nilofer Merchant, she's done really amazing thing here. And it's not just about being women, it's about all the genders. It's about equality. And anyone who feels like they cannot speak up, I would say read this book. It's really good.
Wow, this is really cool. I have not read it, so I need definitely to read that book. And I fully agree with you. You can, with your charm and everything, I think you can give lots of information to customers, but you need to have the knowledge as well. But if you combine both, you can be really, really powerful. So that is my own experience. So my DNA is definitely sales. And I'm now 26 years in that industry, in IT, in distribution, and I do not want to be somewhere else. I really love it.
And you're a woman in tech, in my opinion, because you are contributing to the technology industry.
Yeah, I hope so with my team that we can really make a difference, especially with our vendors. So as the world evolves towards automation and companies have to be always on with their communication, has that affected the work you do at Poly?
Actually, no, not at all. One of the things that is amazing about Poly and our combined heritage of Plantronics and Polycom, we were so good in the way we worked. Smarter working from anywhere, you name it.
Mm.
I myself was interviewed over video
Mm.
back in the decade or so ago. So it's just imagine being hired over video back in the days and then seeing your manager for the first time, who was, by the way, on maternity leave when I joined. So I couldn't really see her in person for another 2 months, even after joining. But it was such a great experience just to kind of have that self-direction, that empowerment in the role, as well as have that trust. Trust is something that's ingrained in all of us at Poly. We trust each other. I think always on connection improves communication because it removes the flexibility challenges. I could have a hobby or I could have a family thing to look after. Maybe there's a school run, or maybe I want to go to gym. If I can do it all and be flexible and still do my job and achieve my results, I've done fair to both my life and to my job. So I think it's always good, always on connection.
So now I love that because you have not seen yet the recording what I have done with Paul Dunn, but he says nearly the same thing. That is really interesting. The trust, what you have to your managers, etc. So he says exactly the same. Yeah. On a very personal note, you have volunteered for Cancer Research UK and Operation Smile. How important is giving back to others to you?
It is really important. See, I read it somewhere a while ago and it's always stuck in my mind. Anybody and everybody is only about 3 missed mortgage payments away from bankruptcy. You're going to on a daily basis, a job. And if you think you're doing well now, think hard. You could be another one tomorrow, a year down the line. You just never know. Life is unpredictable. It is just so important. So we need to keep the circle of life going. We need to give back. And the starting is really hard because here's the thing about charity. When somebody does charity, they're not going to write a massive blog about how many pounds they have put aside in a charity, because then you kind of beat the purpose of doing charity, right? So we are not able to influence each other in the way that we could perhaps had it not been charity. Had it not been charity, I'm going to an event, I'll do a blog, I'll influence others, they'll come to the event. So the circle of life keeps going. So we need to do something else. Find your motto, find that opportunity or that cause that you want to support. Make a small contribution, start there and influence another person in a person-to-person format rather than in a publicity format, because that is the only way to get the message around. And don't forget, once again, anyone is only 3 mortgage payments away from bankruptcy.
Yeah. So now, as you have heard, what you just said, very important. In Germany, we had just had this bad flood. Yes, very, very, very. And it was only 10 kilometers here from my home where I live. So we know lots of people, right, who were affected, who had from one day to the other exactly what you just said, nothing anymore, nothing, really nothing. So I agree that is hard times, and everybody, and even if it is only a little bit, yes, but when everybody gives back a little bit, it is a lot. It is already a lot.
The combined
So during
effect.
pandemic, so now, what did you create a new hobby or something new, what you have not done before?
You know, it's not a new hobby, but I would say that previously I felt like I always was running around in through airports, traveling to different offices, having the hybrid meetings as well, somewhat from home. And I just found like, that I was the only person that was controlling my agenda and I could have changed it. Because what's happening now, pandemic made me learn that, you can totally control your agenda. But on the other kind of hobbies and learning side, I felt like because I was so busy during work, I couldn't really put some time aside for reading a lot more. And I feel like now I have a lot more time to read. But again, it's a combination of not just pandemic and me having that clear head and mind to think about what do I do next and how do I improve my life a little bit? What do I learn as a new thing? It's also about me having time to like, do I need to be this busy? Do I need a block of hour in my calendar to just do this activity? Maybe perhaps it's for a personal reason, or maybe it's for
Mm.
reading in the evening. So being flexible and kind of making space in your life.
Oh, I love reading as well, and I read a lot as well. The other thing what I did is so normally, yes, I was like you, yes, traveling 5 days a week. So now during the pandemic, I started to go for a walk in the morning with my husband. Yeah, so every morning we go for and we learned lots of people here. Yeah, so for a short talk in the morning, yes, so very early. So that gives you as well lots of family time together. And I think when we have that in the future as well on that hybrid model, I think that's a good thing to do.
I must add, Marianne, yes, walking is something I've taken up as well. Oh, my
Mhm.
goodness.
Thank you very much that I had you on my morning talk.
Thank you, Marianne. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.